Welcome back. Happy New Year. Glad to have you watching these. As always, I love doing these, so thanks for being along. A bunch of good questions, especially with the beginning of the new year. This is a hot time for people to get going on fitness, wellness, nutrition, monitoring things, basically hitting the ground running. So a lot of questions relate to that. First question, what is the best way to track my body composition in this new year? This is awesome. I've been talking to a lot of clients about this. The best way is, really three ways are awesome. Progress photos. They fortunately and unfortunately do not lie to you. And if you're gonna take progress photos, take them in the same light, basically same setup. Every time you do, and it's exciting to take basically like a front view, a side view, and then a back view. It's one of those things where everybody gets overwhelmed by like, I look like shit in these photos. They're not going anywhere. They're not meant to look great. They're meant to track your progress. So knock the anxiety off about that and just take them and then keep them on your phone. Put them in a folder somewhere so they're not in your camera roll, whatever you want to do. So progress photos. You can take measurements. You can do basically measure anything, but big places to measure are thighs. And if you're going to measure thighs, it's usually the biggest place on your thigh. Or you can basically take your knee, measure up a certain distance, 8 inches say, and that's all dependent on height. And then basically have that always be the same place that you measure. Then you can go off your belly button. You can do your belly button, so right across that. You can go 2 inches below, 2 inches above. And as you're doing this, you're basically pulling the measuring tape tight so it's snug, but not so much so you're like displacing your body. And then if you want, you can do chest, basically pull out your armpits, let your arms relax and take that measurement as well. You can do arms, so you can do flexed or you can do just relaxed down by your sides. But ultimately when it comes to doing that, you want to make sure that either the same person is the same person's measuring you every single time, or you measure you every single time, because there's a lot of variability in how tight someone's going to pull that, the exact location, yada yada. So it's important to make sure it's consistent. That's the only thing that matters. So we have progress photos, we have measurements, and then you can go off body weight on the scale as well. And if you're going to do that, I personally prefer every single day taking a measurement. Basically wake up, go to the bathroom, hop on the scale, enter in your numbers, and then move on. Basically this helps you understand that there's going to be fluctuations, but as long as the trend line's in the right direction, money, you're doing well. Also, like you'll start to notice for ladies that have periods, like there's going to be fluctuations and it's normal. So if you do this like every Friday or once a month, like you may have to poop. You may have eaten dinner later than normal. You may have had a little bit more carbohydrates, so you retained water for the fucking 3 hours in the window that you're measuring, and then it's going to be back down. So basically make sure you're doing that on a consistent basis. So those would be the three. Best way to lower resting heart rate. Really good question. I think this is actually a very underrated topic. Your heart's a muscle, should be trained as such. It's actually long, slow endurance. So basically doing things that are at like a conversational pace, meaning you can get out and go for a walk with a friend and talk the whole time. You can be on the row or on the bike and you can answer somebody in complete sentences. So ultimately my vote for that is get out for a walk, do it regularly. We're meant to move, get that need up, and basically just keep on moving. It's also wonderful for your mental health, which in 2022 thus far, it seems like that's a good thing to focus on. When weighing food, does weighing raw versus cooked matter? Yes, it does matter, although I get nervous of getting too deep into this because I feel like then it gives more reasons to kind of fear the process and not do it. In terms of like accuracy, weighing raw is going to be more accurate. As you cook something, it gets smaller, but it weighs less, but the calories are going to remain the same. But at the end of the day, like that's so far in the weeds that it doesn't matter. So I personally am tracking for the next bunch of months. and weighing food, but it's one of those things that I'm gonna weigh it once it's cooked. It's easier. It's way easier. I don't want to have to weigh a chicken thigh or whatever and then put it on the grill and then remember which one no, that's not happening. I'm going to take it off, I'm going to cut it up, I'm going to put it on my plate on the scale and then move on. So it does matter, but for the purpose of at least most people that I work with, it doesn't matter, and for me. Do I have to eat the same time each day for fat loss? I want it to be sustainable. Short answer, no, you don't. You can eat whenever it's convenient for you. However, if you're aiming for fat loss, that means you have to be in a calorie deficit. In order to be in a calorie deficit, there's ways to make it easier and there's ways to make it harder. If you build a schedule, which is true for literally everything else, but if you build a schedule, it's going to be a lot easier to understand, like, okay, I'm starting to get a little hungry, but I can quell my anxiety because I know my next meal's coming. Or snack or whatever. So I think it's valuable to understand that you can be flexible and you don't need to eat at the same time every day, but I do think it's an underrated quality to eat at consistent times, or at least eat most of the time consistently. Let's see. What do you think are the most overlooked aspects of health and fitness? Ooh, that's a good question. One, find exercise that you enjoy. Like, people get jammed into like, oh, my friend said I burned 1,000 calories spinning. Cool, good for them. But like, if you absolutely hate it, how long is that gonna last? So find something you like. Go play a team sport. Find a coach that you enjoy working with. Try powerlifting. Like, it's amazing just to try different things. You'll find something that you like. It turns out I love putting a snowboard on my back and hiking up Sugarloaf in the dark to then ski down first thing in the morning. Like, it's exercise, sure, but like, I love it so much that I don't deem it as exercise. Like, it's finding freedom and enjoyment. So find something you like. I'd say get sleep. That's super, super underrated. Like, it's the easiest thing to do. It costs a ton of money. No, it's free. Like, literally, and I don't care if it's at night or taking naps throughout the day. But aim 7+, but really push that to the later end. I'd say walk daily. I think that's like hugely underrated. We live in a society that's super convenient, so get out and walk. And then along those same lines, like, get outside, feel the sun, move around, like, just time outside. So I'd say find something you enjoy, get some sleep, walk every day, and then get outside, feel the sun. There's actually a lot of interesting research now about sunlight first thing in the morning, about making it easier to go to sleep at night. So often, if you can wake up first thing in the morning and then get some sun into your eyes, ideally without sunglasses, it's going to help your body regulate so it understands what time of day it is, that it's the morning, that you should be woke, that cortisol levels should rise because it's the morning, and then they'll start to fade throughout the day. After it gets dark, you usually have a little surplus of energy, which is because in the olden times, if it was dark out, that meant you need energy because you got to get back to your cave, basically, and find shelter for the night, and then you taper off and go to sleep. So getting sunlight first thing in the morning, super advantageous to the sleep aspect. Let's see. Can you remind me what NEAT, N-E-A-T is? And then why is it important? I absolutely can. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So basically what NEAT is any exercise that is not exercise. So like, I'm not rolling in to do CrossFit, I'm not going to the gym, I'm not getting on my bike to go for a ride for exercise. NEAT is parking further away from the doors of wherever you're going. NEAT is hucking a frisbee around in the summer with your friends. NEAT is putting on headphones to take a work call and just slowly pacing around instead of just sitting on your duff while you have a call that you don't need to be on the computer for. It's important, for all of those steps really add up. So in the whole game of like fat loss, we'll say, like, you have a certain amount of calories and exercise or overall energy expenditure throughout the day. The exercise piece, like training for an hour, makes up such a small piece of that. NEAT is much bigger than that. and it's like undervalued. So I would say like literally focus on getting your steps up. And that's a unique thing to actually look at, tracking your steps, because it, again, like the progress photos, fortunately and unfortunately doesn't lie to you. I'll look at my phone. We've, had a little quarantine period, so I'll look at my phone or my watch, and I'll be like, I've literally only taken 2,000 steps, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is very atypical, but it's a reminder because it's sitting on my watch to get out and take a walk or take laps around the backyard. But yeah, so super important for a whole host of reasons. But in the game of body recomposition or losing body fat, super important. What do you think about meal replacements to help you lose weight? They work if you want to replace a meal and you're in a pinch. Do I think it's a long-term way to find success? No, I don't. Like, do you really want to replace a meal with a shake? Like, I don't. I enjoy eating. I enjoy the community of eating. I love sitting down with Court and Welly to have dinner. Like, no, I don't want to drink a shake. I think in a pinch, yes, it works. I think if you have a super stressful day and your option is that or like takeout fast food, like fine, use it as that. Use it as a tool. But I don't think it's something that you should do as a staple of your diet. Yeah. 2 more questions. 1 more question. Should I eat back my calories burned from exercise? No. It is very, very common that we way overestimate how many calories we burn in exercise. Often devices that tell us how many calories we burn, like they're trying to sell you on using their device. So it's very exciting to watch when you burn 1,000 calories on something. When if you were to do that with a metabolic cart, something in your mouth that's literally spitting your exact data into a cart telling you exactly what you're doing, it's nowhere even close to that. So I'm not a fan of that. And then ultimately, I view it as we can set your calories to a place where you're in a calorie deficit regardless of the exercise component, which means the exercise then becomes for performance, for mental health, for accomplishing your training goals, for feeling good in your skin, for being able to do more cool shit. And then if you do more cool shit, you're just going to accomplish your body composition goals faster. So that tends to be my view on that. We'll leave it at that because I have some good ones for the next one. But I want to keep these reasonably short because I can, as you guys know, talk forever. So Happy New Year. Thanks for jumping in on this Q&A. Please keep the questions coming. These were all phenomenal. I love doing these, and I'm psyched to hear if you guys have any questions or feedback or anything at all from these. But as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.